to the show. We are here for you. Thank you for tuning in with the Lord himself, Guityler. Thanks, sir, for being here. How are you doing today?
Today, I'm doing pretty damn good. I do have one minor complaint, but other than that, life is going splendidly. My only complaint is my back is really, really fucked up right now. But other than that, yeah, life is good.
Like, how fucked up is your back?
I basically can't do physical labor.
Like, any kind of physical labor?
Pretty much anything. Like, sitting upright in a chair is pretty physical for me right now. And so here I am.
Sitting upright in a chair, making it physical.
Yeah, you probably could see me, like, moving around a little hindered and kind of, taxed. And the audience can't really see that in the audio, of course, but it's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Yeah, I can definitely see a little strain in the facial muscles that I notice quite.
That's a good one. Facial, I like it.
Facial muscles.
I feel like that's accurate. I feel like no one can deny what that means.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I come up with a lot of words that are undeniable words.
Yeah.
But people are like, that word doesn't exist. I'm like, but you understood it, right? And
yeah,
they're like,
makes it a word.
yeah. And they're like, yeah, I understood it better than the word. I'm like, well, then it's a better word.
Yep.
So we should use it.
Yeah.
And
even if you don't, it's still a better word.
it is. And people seem to hate me for it, but whatever.
What are you gonna do?
It's just a way of life for some reason.
Just attract haters, sadly.
It is a sad state of affairs. So I seen that you just hit a little milestone the other day, and you're getting into the whole social media realm of things.
Yeah, that is accurate. I did hit a little milestone. It was pretty cool. My wife and I celebrated a little bit. Just a little one. I've been working on my, Instagram presence, for my page, for about a month now, I think. And I hit about 1,000 followers pretty recently, and that was pretty cool.
Dude, in 30 days, like
Something
less.
like that,
yeah. That's insane.
Yeah, I had the page before. It was just a personal page. I had like 100 followers or something, just out of friends. So I guess I got about 900 followers over the course of, I think it was about a month.
Damn.
Yeah. But that was pretty cool.
I need that recipe.
I've been taking a long hiatus since then, so it's still at just a little over 1,000. It grows a little bit. It's steady, but it's very, very slow. If I'm not putting work into it,
Yeah, which is kind of the thing with social media. It's gotten to the point that a lot of these kids under 18 that have no kids and just film themselves all day doing vlogs or like whatever social media type thing. It's literally, if you aren't putting it out every single day, then you're falling behind.
Yeah.
And we don't put stuff out here every day. Well,
it's impossible. You have, we're adults. We have lives. We have responsibilities, and there are things we need to do. So you can devote your downtime to it. But how much downtime does any given adult have in a day?
Not much. I probably have more than the average as of right now.
It's very lucky.
But yeah, I try to use all that downtime for like learning of some sort.
Well, you've been in it for a while, and you've been literally getting your fingers in everything you can get into, and you master everything you touch. So
I don't know about mastery, but I'm working towards it. Maybe by the end of my lifetime, hopefully. But yeah, I got my fingers into a lot. I'm now getting into CGI.
That's pretty cool.
I'm learning how to do like animated rendered models and sculpting and all that kind of stuff, and then also animating them and making 3D rendered worlds and shit like Avatar. And so like we'll have to make you a 3D rendered modeled video at some point.
Really cool.
Yeah. I'm giving myself like a month to like be proficient.
That is a really cool thing that I was really interested in was when you were animating onto each individual frame from the video that you took.
Yes.
I thought that was really interesting. That's something I'm interested in pursuing for something for myself.
Yes, and we
be
are
very cool.
definitely doing that
That would be
because
awesome.
I've gotten very, very good at it,
Nice.
and I can pretty much turn you into the thing that I know you want to be.
Yeah.
We're
Hashtag
gonna,
TBC guitarist.
yes, we're gonna go and hit that hashtag. If you shred the gnar, whether it be skateboarding or fucking shredding up a guitar, because usually people, when they say shred the gnar, they're like, oh, skateboarding term. I'm like, yeah, so
Yeah,
just gotta talk out to them. But shredding the gnar on the neck of a guitar, that rhymes. Like we were in VR. I can't think of anything else. Yeah. Awesome. So he just destroys guitar necks with his fingers. They dance across the neck like a squad of little Korean folks. Dude, DJ dancing, you know, and they're very skilled.
We never claimed this was going to be PC.
No, I mean, but the Koreans are the best at it, is what I'm saying. Like, have you ever seen those dance-off videos?
They are pretty impressive.
They are so fucking on time. It's like they can read each other's mind. It's insane. I've never seen people have the kind of timing that you see in those dance crews. And it's usually the
impressive.
Korean dance crews that fucking just blow my mind. Because they, like, you'll see somebody, like, try to do the pop lock thing, and someone will be just that much out. But on the Korean teams, it's like, snap, snap. Every single person is exactly the same. It's insane to me. So,
That's talent.
it is talent. It's an unbelievable talent. So, that's what your fingers do across the fretboard.
That's a compliment I've never received before.
And
I'm
probably
not upset
never
I
will.
received it.
Yes, and to all my Korean friends out there, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know that isn't any kind of way, like, disrespectful. You guys can dance. I cannot. I can do, like, the Trump style dance.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, which isn't much of a dance. It looks just like you're jerking off two dicks.
I've seen people dance that way before.
Yeah, I saw someone animate that to it.
Really?
It was hilarious.
That was pretty good.
Cartoon, just like crazy looking. It's insane.
I can do a little bit of pop robot locking shit.
I definitely know for a fact I don't look good at it.
Oh, man.
I know you can dance. I've seen you
I don't
actually
know if
do
many
dancing.
people look good when they do it, honestly.
You can actually like dance though, like
My back's
old
not
school
so good.
dancing, like ballroom dancing and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure we saw it at like your reception, right?
Yes, sir.
And it was impressive, honestly.
Thanks.
As somebody that like I took classes on the shit, and
Really?
I still can't dance that good.
It's tough.
Yeah, we were forced to in ROTC because we had the military balls,
Gotcha,
so they
yeah,
were
for
like
coordination.
we had to do the shit, and I had no coordination for it. I stumble on my own feet walking normally. I just got these clobbers of feet that just flop around everywhere. I don't know where they're going. They don't know where they're going. They're just doing their
Sometimes they
thing.
just get their paths mixed up.
Oh, dude, all the time. Not sometimes, all the time.
That's just how life goes.
Yeah. So, what are you doing on your Instagram page that is bringing people to follow you?
So I've got a few cool little things that I do. One is I try to engage with people. I think that's going to be the main one as well. You know, if someone comments on something that I post, I react to them in some way, whether it's, you know, liking their comment or responding to their comment or going on their page and seeing what they've done recently and commenting on their stuff maybe or liking their stuff. Or maybe I send them a message, you know, in some way.
That's always good.
Yeah, so engaging is good. And also, you know, I follow people, you know. I scroll through, you know, like I'll go to like my favorite band page. And I'll go through the people that like their stuff. So I'm like, okay, we have similar interests. That puts us on a similar page here. This is a good start. And so I look through some of their stuff, and if they've got cool stuff, I maybe follow them, or I like some of their stuff.
That's always.
And so when they see that I've done that, maybe they interact with me. At least that's, the idea.
That's always the hope.
Yeah.
It used to be kind of like a unspoken rule, like sub for sub type thing. Yeah. I'm old school. I still do it. It doesn't really always happen back. Sometimes I'll sub to somebody's shit, and that's why I have more people I'm probably following on Instagram.
Sure, and I do as well, absolutely.
Than followers, but I definitely don't have. I don't even think near 1,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah,
that's.
Well, it took a lot of work. I was active on it every day, all day. Here and there, sporadically throughout the day.
Well, and you have just unbridled talent in some of the things I've seen on there, which is going to keep people watching. Like, I guarantee, like, when someone sees your video, they're not just going, oh, cool, flip. They're, like, watching it from start all the way to the finish, and then leaving a comment as well. And that doesn't always happen. In my videos, if I put up a video, no comments. I don't even have to worry about, like, shit-talking. Go to my comment section, fill it up with shit talk. I don't care. I think the shit's funny. But, that shit is, like, that shows that people are engaged in the actual content itself. They're not just, like, scrolling through it.
Instagram has insights that you can view and show, types of engagement. And so I get to have a little bit of, like, an inside look at that. So that's kind of lucky. I get to see what's effective and what isn't, and what is, to what extent is it effective or not.
Yeah.
So that's lucky.
Yeah, so I noticed you do, like you said, hashtag DBZ, like one of the first videos, and I believe it was Daniel, right?
Daniel?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, who filmed it?
I don't know what he calls himself for his...
Honestly, I don't know if he has a hashtag or anything like that.
I thought he had some kind of like
tag.
quarantine cooking.
Oh, quarantine cookbook,
Yeah, the quarantine cookbook show.
Yeah, he hasn't done that for a while, but that was really funny.
That was awesome. Yeah. And he does a lot of photography and stuff. You should definitely go try to check him out. If you go follow Guityler here, I guarantee he'll come up in your feed somewhere. Yeah,
follow my page and I'll post a link.
And that way, like, you can show him some love, because this dude's doing awesome shit. I've seen some photos and stuff that he's been doing, some clone videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, he does Photoshop, and he's very talented. He uses a lot of different Adobe programs, actually. So he actually did some work for one of my a couple of my music videos, where one, he superimposed the perspective of looking through a sand scouter.
Yeah, that was
down
sick.
At my solo.
It
was cool to film, too, because he had to jam the camera right next to my face to get my perspective, as though I was playing it. And I couldn't even look at my fingers at the time because the way everything was set up. So I had to, like,
feel it out.
Play the solo without even seeing my hands, so that was pretty tough. But it worked out really well because Daniel's a good filmographer, he knows what he's doing, so it turned out really cool.
Yeah, it looked really sick, and like his editing and putting it all together.
Yeah, we filmed in front of a green screen. He was able to put me in space in a couple shots.
Yeah.
I was like, shredding my guitar in a scouter, wearing my actual scouter that I have, which is kind of cool.
That's right. You did have a full-on scouter in it. Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah. I thought he superimposed that, honestly. No. I forgot that you have a real one.
Just me looking through it, actually. He was able to put the tint on to match my color of my scouter that I was looking through, and then also he was able to put the saying and gibberish,
Yeah, all the writing and everything. Yeah, that's so sick. Adobe's are sick fucking programs.
Yeah, he's so talented with them too, and he's not formally educated by any means on it. He just uses tutorials and educates himself.
Same.
By whatever means he can get.
That's the way to do it.
And it's sufficient for him.
Honestly, I feel like it doesn't stump your creativity, like as an artist, because you stumble upon little things as you.
Absolutely, and you can use every little thing that you do because you're seeing tutorials of how they're used as you're learning how to use them.
Yeah, and you can add them in. Most people, like, as you're watching the tutorial, you're like, oh, I'm working on a project right now. I'm going to try this on this new project. Yeah. And it's usually something that, like, for me, it's happened to be work out with clients. Like, I'll throw something into a thing for a music video that I've just stumbled across on YouTube. Someone's like, check this cool little thing out. And I'm like, I've never even tried that before. Let's give that shit a shot.
How did you come across the idea of animating in every single frame?
I came across that from stop motion originally.
Oh,
Getting
like
into
with
stop,
claymation.
yeah, like claymation and stop motion photography. Um, that's kind of what I had that table back there set up for. I was
Okay.
doing a lot of stop motion stuff, and I still want to do stop motion stuff in the future for some companies I'm trying to get some work through. And then I also started incorporating some of that stop motion into music videos. And I found out how you do the scribble effect. Somebody hit me on a music video and asked, how do you do those outlines and everything on the scribble? And I was like, I have no idea. A plug-in maybe?
Right.
Maybe there's some kind of special
Some
effect or
VST,
something? Yeah. And they were like, I don't think so. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to do some research, figure it out. So I spent a couple days looking it up, and I was like, oh, well, you render out the video. So you can capture the actual video, and then you render it out in PNG or JPEG. And then you draw on each of the frames that you want, and then you just have to count, like, depending on...
Is there a particular program that you're doing this on?
Sony Vegas.
Okay, got you. So it's a common video editing program.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Actually, I guess it's not Sony Vegas anymore. It's Magic's Vegas Suite.
Oh, things have evolved since I've been in this.
Yeah, Sony
Oh, no.
sold it. And I have the actual version. I didn't pirate it. It's no big deal. Don't come after me. I actually have it. I pay the subscription, all right? It's just so I can get the photo editor that comes with it, even though I don't use it. And then Vegas Effect also. So that's also like a 3D rendering kind of thing. And then I also use like Blender. I'm trying to learn that now.
I have Blender. That is a son of a bitch.
It is so ridiculous, but you can do everything in it. You
Yeah.
can do CAD program style stuff. You can mold in it. You can sculpt. You can do 3D rendering. You can do green screen. You can put somebody in a whole three-dimensional world. It's camera angles. You can do virtual camera shots and pans and everything. It's insane. I gave myself 30 days to get that program like under the belt and usable.
Wow.
And it's made my brain hurt. There's like 6 programs, it feels like, inside of the entire in one program. It's insane. But
yeah, I used it just for video editing, and it was a son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, there's so much to it. It's like overwhelming. I would love to take a class on it.
Yeah, I could show you a way to get a good video editing program for not much.
Nice.
That would be so much easier than I'm just like thinking in my head of exactly like the video editing setup.
Yeah.
Just trying to import video into that fucking thing I had to look it up.
Yeah.
And I use video editing software and I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, the only thing I can figure out is how to import like a JPEG.
Wow.
This is insane.
Not helpful.
Yeah. And it's got a whole like system of plug-in chains. Like you can chain a bunch of things together, and that's how you get like the good video quality into the thing and green screen it and all that.
Huh. Okay.
And that's it. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. It took me like 3 days of video watching before I finally like was comfortable enough to try to even upload a video into it. But in Vegas, you'd be up and running, going, moving.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that.
It's
really
super good.
Yeah.
For like $19 a month or something like that, you get the whole suite, which comes with the Vegas effects. And this isn't a sponsored thing, even though sponsor me,
Yeah.
because we could use it.
Absolutely.
It's just got like a nice little set with all 3. And if you want to use the photo thing, I use Affinity Design and Affinity Photo, which were like $49 programs, and you own them. And they're just like Adobe's Photoshop and everything, and Lightroom, except you don't have to pay the monthly subscription. And that was the only reason, because like I don't know if next month I'll be able to afford
Yeah.
And when you're doing all those programs and like you add Lightroom and all that to it, it starts to get gets to be pricey.
Daniel's telling me it's like I think $50 or $60 a month for all of the
different
Adobe
rooms,
suite.
yeah.
And so, but if you parcel them out, it's reasonable, you know. And so it's like you only use one of those, so you only need to pay like $11 a month or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's handy.
But if you want to use Lightroom, then you got to spend another $11. And then if you want to use this thing, you got to spend it. I was just like, I want it one and done.
Exactly.
So I found comparable style stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. And, you know, I subscribe to doing that 100% of the time, every single time, because, for example, I use Reaper as a DAW.
Yes.
And it's like a comparable DAW. It can do everything that any other DAW can do, and it's free as long as you're trialing it. And you can trial it forever if you want to. You know, eventually it's nice if you pay the guys at Reaper, you know, your one-time fee or whatever it is. It's a one-time thing. You don't have to, you know, pay a monthly subscription or anything.
But then you own the program outright, and it isn't. Is it nine? It isn't even $900 though.
Oh no, it's like $40 or something.
Yeah,
it's
which
like
is
$50-$60. It's something really cheap. It's literally
even if it was $200.
Yeah, and
it
it's not
would be
even close.
so much cheaper than
Every
Pro
other,
Tools.
Yeah.
Or even
Cubase.
Cubase, Ableton Live,
Yeah.
any of those. Like those things are expensive as shit.
Yeah, I bought Ableton at one point because I used to fuck with Pro Tools back when you and me used to hang out all the time.
Yeah.
I got it for myself at one point, and I couldn't figure it out, and I let it go to waste. Drivers have always pissed me off.
Yeah.
I'm not good with that shit. And then I got Ableton, and I got it working on my computer, and I started jamming with this drummer, and we had a setup, but for some reason we never really tried recording with him. It was just me, like over and over and over again. That got kind of old, and I had bought all these drum mics and everything to try to make it work, and he just wouldn't, you know, go for it as often as I was hoping.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think he just wasn't really comfortable recording at that point, and I didn't have good tone, and so he probably didn't have a lot of, you know, faith that I was not wasting his time.
Yeah.
But you know, you need experience to be able to position mics correctly and to run things through EQs correctly.
Yeah, you literally have to just trial and error.
Exactly.
You can't
Exactly.
because the room depend. Even if you were a guy that did it for a living every single day,
Mm-hmm.
it would still take you probably a run or two to set up. If you were setting up in different room,
Yep.
and it's a different kit, it's like
Yeah.
all those are different variables, and then how they play, what they hit harder than other things,
What
where
song
you're
you're
gonna
recording, what take you're recording.
exactly like. So that's I never understood why people have. They have this idea of recording is like you just go in and bang it out and it's fucking done.
Yeah.
It's never ever
and
in
another
the
thing is, like,
history of
even if
recording
they
music.
understand the concept that it's going to take a lot of takes, they get like locked up with like a panic attack almost. You know, where
Yeah.
they're not comfortable. It's like stage fright.
Yeah,
And they're like, no, it's done. I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. Like,
yeah. Like I don't want to feel that anxiety.
yeah,
like
and
I'm gonna
get
get
it.
nauseous.
There's a
and,
lot of pressure the first couple times because you've put that own pressure on yourself that you think it's going to be this certain way.
Yeah,
But really,
you
it's
just
like
gotta
a
go in it.
self-imposed pressure, though. It's like I did it to myself, and I know what it's like, but you got to get past it because it's everybody's their own worst critic, you know.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. Like one thing I've learned with recording and recording other people is, and I get a great compliment from people. They're like, I feel like I'm at home. I don't usually feel like that. And it's like, well, that's kind of the idea. I want you to feel as comfortable as that you're at home because we're going to be here all fucking day long if you're not.
It's really
Like-
important because otherwise they're not going to feel comfortable. They're going to put out shitty takes, and you're going to have to work that much harder to get something good out of something. you
Yeah,
know?
when...
And they're not going to be satisfied with the product when it's their own fault.
Yeah, exactly. And they're going to wonder why.
Yep.
Because they aren't going to understand, like, unless they sit in your seat and they're actually trying to edit the thing and they understand all the ins and outs of editing and trying to cut frequencies and all that.
And they're never going to grasp that if they don't, like, spend months working on it.
Exactly.
You know, maybe
So,
years working on it to even, grasp those concepts. And
that's
how
why
difficult
they
are to
come to
manipulate.
spend the money for me, which I'm totally fine for, but then I want to make it as easy for that person to feel at home and, like, record a good track.
Yeah.
Something that they feel pleased when they leave
Mhm.
that they did. Even if they didn't do the entire thing, they feel like, all right, we're on a really good start. It sounds good. I like what I'm hearing. I'll come in and do it better the next time, and we'll kill it. And it's like, perfect.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you want to have people leave as. I've seen at studios where like people are like, fuck, I felt like I wasn't even there. Like I'm just a dollar, just waiting for the money, and
Yep.
they're waiting for the time to fucking get up,
Mhm.
and that's it. And then I've seen other engineers that just kill it with the way that they get more out of the person and actually make more money, because the people who are there in less time get finished quicker. They are still getting paid for the same amount of blocked out hours.
I think that's a common trait that you'll see too, is where there's these like small time studios, you know, who haven't really like started making like career money off of their music yet, where they're making good stuff because they're hungry for it still. But then there's these medium time studios that will never go past medium time because the drive that they used to have, they let it go because they're eating decent now and they don't like they aren't actually passionate about the craft. They like once they got the money out of it, they didn't care to continue learning and to continue striving and trying. They settled on their old school formula, and those are the people who 10, 20 years from now, they're not going to be relevant anymore. They're going to be archaic and outdated, and no one's going to go to them anymore because none of their skills are going to be relevant anymore.
No, and that's a fact, because the thing is evolving. Like, I check up on stuff every week, and there's new, all kinds of stuff just being, it's almost overwhelming on just the keep up. Like, having to learn it is one other thing, but just keeping up on it's like, holy shit.
Too, and that's why trends happen, is because you know, every producer and every musician wishes they could cover every ground, but you can't. You know, it's impossible. So you got to pick and choose, and that's where different genres and trends happen. You know.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why I don't make trap beats. I make like cinema music such as, I'll play you a little piece right now. Here, it's the closest to a trap beat as I got. See, that's more background music. It's not really. Yeah, see, like game music or something that's like very repetitive in the background, very lined out. It's not got a lot of swing to it.
I like it though. It's got the choir eyes. It's got the dope ass drum patterns. It's sick.
It's something that could be worked with. And that's also another program that I found that's like it's a free version of Fruity Loops, called LMMS. Okay. And it's almost exactly Fruity Loops, except you can easily access all the sounds from your computer as well.
Let me ask you this. Can you get triplets going in this?
Yeah.
Because I could never figure out how to do that with Fruity Loops, and I don't know if you can.
Yeah, in this you can definitely do it. So, for the people that are watching the YouTube video later, you might be able to see the screen in which it's on, but I'm showing him the LMMS system here.
The bar right there divided up into beats.
Yeah, then you should be able to. Oh, that's a metronome. These are a lot of different side controls.
It would be like where you would be able to select like quarter notes and 16th notes and stuff, like the note value.
Oh, so like the piano roll.
Maybe. Oh wait, go back. You had it in that other one. See how there's the 3 on the bottom versions?
Yeah.
1/3. Wait, what is that? No way. Click that. No, not that one. That was way too big. Try like 1 over some smaller number, like 12, 1/12 or 1/6 or whatever. And then
let's see. Yeah, so if we were to do it, so this is like the thing, and then it's got chords and scales as well, and these are like bends and stuff, so you'll hear that now.
What? That's pretty fucking sick, bro. This is like straight up Donkey Kong. Ooh, busting out that drum solo.
So that's this whole setup that you're hearing right here. And it's just, I went crazy with just fucking around with all the different setups and shit, but you can set up chords in all of these things, and it will actually set the chords up for you right out, and you'll be good to go. Come on in. We got the homeboy Drew. I wanted you guys to meet. This is my good friend, the guy that I tell you about that shreds on the guitar, and his killer taught me everything that like I understand about music theory still. Like, he taught me a lot more than I understand, but I still only understand certain amounts. And this is the guy that plays fucking amazing music.
Oh yeah.
Amazing music.
Yeah, you told me about it.
The eye of the beholder.
I believe it's amazing. I think it sounds awesome. I enjoy, like, you've seen me have to record shit that I don't enjoy.
Oh yeah.
And then it's a different thing, and I don't ever tell those people. I enjoy recording this. Yeah. Him, every time, it's like, it's a pleasurable thing to sit down and actually record. Like, when I sit and record with you, it's like, it's a pleasurable thing, because we both work
I know sometimes
together.
when you record with me, it's a hassle because I'm like, wait, but try this, and then let's go over here and let's get distracted with this for 4.5 hours, and now it's 3 a.m.
But see, it's not, it's like, it's not frustrating. It makes me happy, because that's how I learned.
For sure,
like,
yeah.
that program so in detail is because, like, you would think of things that I wouldn't even know to think of, and then we would get into it. Same thing kind of happens with him. It's a beautiful thing. So we'll sit down, because he has, like, already an idea. He's played all the instruments, the drums, the guitar, the fucking bass, and put all of that together and sent that over, and then he'll come over and sing with it, and it's sick to know, because, like, at first I didn't know that he was making the music. He's like, I'm gonna send you a couple of tracks, and I'm like, you fucking made this?
Hell yeah.
And he's like, yeah. I'm like, the fuck, dude? I've been doing this shit for years. I could not make this. It could not happen. If you gave me $1 million and was like, make this exact music, I could not replicate it. I wouldn't know how. So it's pretty sick. Like, it's gnarly, and he can do different types of genre.
That's cool.
Same with, like, you can play all kinds of shit. I know you like specific types of metal.
I focus on particular subgenres, but yeah, I can fuck around a little bit here and there.
Yeah, I've seen you play everything. I've seen you fuck around and do everything. I have rap music of you.
Yeah.
I do.
I have some on my phone still, actually.
What do you normally play? Like metal?
Metal, yeah.
What kind? What lane? Metal's such a broad category.
Technical metal. Anything technical. So, like, anything that would be difficult to play. You know?
Like technical death metal.
Yeah, technical death metal. I like neoclassical metal. I like fucking, I don't know.
The Rings of Saturn.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Oh, dude.
I'm actually jamming with this guy, Chris, right now. We're working on some tracks together, and he has a very Rings of Saturn sound.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
And then his drummer is like the drummer from Oceano, I guess.
Oh shit.
So that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah.
I've seen Oceano quite a few times. They were just like on the bill when I would see other bands, but for some reason in like death metal especially, when you start seeing shows, like you see a lot of the same bands because it's a pretty small subculture, you know. But like when you dive into it,
I remember I saw Oceano at Studio 7 back in the day, like 10 years ago or whatever. And
that was like
it was literally one of the best stage presences I've ever seen of any lead man, front man, ever. He was like, I remember he was like, all right, Seattle, I know you have the highest suicide rate in the whole fucking world. I want to see you motherfuckers kill yourselves. And then we all just fucking moshed. It was fucking ruthless. I was like,
dude, I remember the moshes at the house.
oh yeah.
Oh my god, I got thrown into a table by a pregnant chick. It was fucking crazy.
Dude, I have like this twisted fantasy that one day I will own the house and reopen it, you know?
Dude, it would be so sick. I would love to do it.
Dream that will happen
but
someday.
there could definitely not be the underage sex and drugs that were going on there.
That, dude. It would be a legit place. It would be so sick.
It's so sick. It was such a nice little location with a loft area and
no
everything.
No one's literally done anything with that place since it was a house.
Really? It's just sitting there.
It's still just shut down.
That's insane.
Was this like a place, like a venue? Like
it was local, yeah. You know where like that Banks corner is on Colby by the high school? It's like all the banks are right there. It's like Union Bank and
oh yeah, like here in Everett, right?
Yeah. It's right there. It's like that Subway right there. It's like across the street from that.
Yeah. I think it's right behind the Taco Del Mar now. It's there.
Yeah, it's just past it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like on the back side of it, it's like a building in between, and it looks small from the outside, and then you get in and it like opens up.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
And it goes to like a loft in the back. And when we were like high school, we would go there and bands would play and guys would get fucking. I remember this dude, long black hair, fucking kind of shorter, and he was the lead singer of one of the bands, and I'm watching him drink like a full fifth up in the loft, and I'm up there smoking blunts. My uncle shows up out of nowhere to find for Casey, and then I sneak away, and I go downstairs, and this guy goes on stage, and he gets up on one of the big speakers and just falls on his face, hits the ground, and pops back up, and then starts screaming with like blood running out of his head. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And people start moshing, and that's when a pregnant lady decided she was going to throw me into a table. I was like, oh, well, this is fun.
These are the
awesome.
Reasons why the house is no longer a venue.
Exactly. It got shut down because, like, my uncle would show up out of nowhere, and, like, his son's smoking a blunt and drinking underage at this place.
I got threatened with a gun there. I got threatened with a knife there.
Yep, a few times.
I offered a guy a hug, and he said he would kill me.
Yep.
A knife on me. I was like, oh, I can't offer this guy a hug anymore.
Hug rescinded, dog.
Yeah.
I don't want your hug no more.
That.
People are crazy down there.
Yeah.
Downtown, it's still crazy as shit. I went down there and filmed one of the Black Lives Matter protests just to film the shit because it was local and we haven't had like a protest in ever like that where people were marching. So I go down to film it. People don't like me because I'm a white guy, so obviously I must be the opposition.
Sure.
And I'm filming, so I must be the bad guy. So,
That is the law.
but the funny thing is I actually got more shit, like my life threatened by a someone who wasn't actually in the fucking parade thing, like the march. It was fucking so. It was a guy driving in a car, and he pulls up and he just goes ham on like the protesters and shit because this lady drives through the protesters that are blocking the road. And so the cops show up and becomes a scene. So I'm filming the scene, and then this guy comes up in the fucking little beater, and he's talking like, I'm gonna cut your heads off, you fuckers. You guys should fucking die. I'll shoot you right here in front of the fucking cops. And I'm like on the sidewalk, and he's in the lane right next to me, and they're on the other side that I'm filming. And so I tilt down and start filming through because his passenger side window's down. So I start filming him. The guy that was walking with me, that was with the Blue Lives Matter thing, because they were like, you're walking by yourself? That's dangerous. And then some dude walked up on me, and they're like, we're going to walk with you just so you don't get fucking mugged by yourself. And I was like, I appreciate it. Cool. So we're walking, and then homeboy fucking leans over and is like, smile for the camera, bud. And dude pulls fucking Glock out and is like, smile for this. I'm like, well, there's nowhere I can go. So either getting shot here or he's not shooting anybody. So let's hope for the latter.
Right.
The latter happened. So cops right there. No one knew. No one had a fucking clue. I asked one of the cops, I'm like, did you know someone just pulled a gun?
I think that happens more often than people assume, you know?
And he was like,
cops are pretty oblivious to a lot of shit because people want them to be, you know? It's like, people are sneaky when they need to be.
It was so funny because he's yelling at the cops and everybody else, talking about how he's going to fucking shoot everybody. And then we catch his attention. Yeah, we catch his attention, and then he peels the fuck off. And I'm like, and these two guys, they jump. The guy that said something and this other guy that's standing here, they both jump off to the side. And I'm like, oh, there's nowhere for me to go. Like, if I jump to this side, we're both getting shot. If I jump to that side, we're both getting shot. So I must just stand here and take it. And then they're both screaming at the fucking cop. You can hear it in the video. This guy's got a gun! He's got a gun! Right here! Screaming at the cops. But they're so busy with the fact that this lady just took her SUV and ran it through a crowd of protesters.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
I was like, it's not all that out of the realm of possibility that they didn't hear anything. The dude's like, well, I want to file a report. I'm like, well, then you just walk up to a cop. Watch. Walk up to a cop. I'm like, wants to file a report. It's that simple. And if you want to see it on my feed, go to my Instagram. It's on my live.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Right? We need it.
One thing about filing reports I learned is that if the problem takes place on private property, then cops can't file a report on your behalf. you have to file your own report.
Yep.
On some website or at the county office or whatever the fuck it is.
Or get the paperwork.
Yeah.
Which I don't do.
Screwed me over one time. I had to. It was so screwed up. So I was parked outside work. I'm a manager. I was interviewing a potential employee that we need to make a hire, and so I drove to work, parked outside where I would normally park. I was in there for like an hour interviewing this guy, and when I came out, my car was like exploded. There was this other car that was kind of half exploded. And I was like, what the fuck? So I approached this guy and I'm like, what happened? And he's like, well, I wasn't looking when I was turning the corner. I was looking off the boats to the left. And I turned more than I should have. And I just turned right into your car. And I was like, oh. Because like, my car is like up on the sidewalk halfway, and my trunk is blown out, like my axle's broken in half on the back.
Jesus Christ,
up, dude! Like if I was in that car, I'd be in the hospital.
if you would be not in a casket.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah, and so
I just hit it a little bit. What the fuck?
Get there, and he said this in front of me and the security guard, mind you. Cops get there. He's like, "Yeah, I can't take a statement." I'm like, "Well, what the fuck?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's just the way it is. Here are your options." And so I didn't, of course, because I'm a lazy asshole. I did not make my own statement. And then, I call insurance, and we're like, our insurance companies are settling it. And then, like a couple weeks later, my insurance calls me, and they're like, yeah, he's denying that was his fault. He's saying that he got rear-ended into your car, and that it was the other driver's fault, and without his insurance, you guys are both liable for your own damages, and he's not liable for yours.
What a motherfucker.
Like, this motherfucker admitted fault in front of me and another person who was a security guard, so it should count for something.
Right? Like,
as far as testimonies are concerned,
Yeah, wouldn't it be an outstanding testimony?
I guess, yeah. And so, I have to, take it to arbitration because obviously I'm not going to put up with that shit. And luckily, the arbitrators favored me. They understood my situation. I had to contact the security guard on his day off, and I had to contact the cop, and I had to ask the cop if he would help me out. He's like, no, I can't. By law, I'm like, you're a fucking cocksucker.
That's so insane.
I was mad. And I had to get statements written on my own. I had to interview people and shit. It was fucked up. I had to do all my own legwork.
Right.
Because it
just
happened.
to get your car fixed.
Yeah, because it happened on private property. It happened on the port's property rather than on the street. Yeah. Even though it was on the street. It was on 13th Street, in fact, which you would think would be fucking not private, but apparently it is.
Oh, sorry.
Well, hold up. 13th is a private. I thought it was.
You would think.
How is it?
It's the port property. They own that whole strip right there,
They could own a 13th Street? I thought they would have to name it an actual name,
right,
like fucking Lindell Lane or some shit.
Yeah, Port Governor, the Ballsack Liquor.
Yeah.
Hey. Dude, speaking of streets and cities and governments and shit, I had an idea. Could you... So I live close to this spot where in Smoky Point, it's really shitty to try to get from one side of the freeway to the other. If you bought, let's say you bought property on both sides of the street and then built a bypass, built a road that went from one side to the other, or had a piece of property between two really highly used roads, and just built a road all the way through, could you then turn around and sell that property to the city and say hey, I'll sell you this road, this property, and
that's actually hella smart. You could pay your
otherwise
own
what
labor.
You could make private toll roads, so you could say, hey, pay 10 cents or whatever, 5 cents, and you can cut through, take my little shortcut. And eventually, people start using it so much that the government sees, damn, this is a really profitable location for a road, so we're just gonna buy it up from under you.
I don't know if they would just seize it through eminent domain.
Right.
They'd just be like, sorry. It's either
idea.
that or we're going to blow this whole thing down, plus both of your properties, we're going to make you an offer.
How about, though, if they do that, we seize the fucking internet and phone services for eminent domain, and we don't get charged for that shit anymore. Because it's just human rights at this point.
I'm pretty sure Anonymous and a bunch of other people have been shooting for that for a long time.
How about the whole fucking independence? Like, every independent citizen of the fucking planet has been shooting for that for a long ass time. I feel like that's...
I don't understand how people can charge you for, like, fresh air. Because, like, you literally get charged for fresh air. You gotta fucking...
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
There's a guy selling canned fresh air. What the fuck for, like, thousands of dollars?
Yeah, I've seen
Like, I don't knock your hustles, bro, but...
No, but they literally do. And then people in China or you know, like, places with afflicted atmosphere, you know, because of, you know, where they live relative to, like, factories and shit. Or
smog and
yeah,
radiation.
people literally buy that shit for a single breath of fresh air.
Yeah, and it's...
And they pay, like, ungodly amounts of money for it.
insane to me that, like, water, air, and all those things... And I'm not a fucking socialist. I believe in capitalism. But I also believe in basic rights of, like, the people on
Like,
the
if you're
land.
paying taxes, you should get the things that you need out of it. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Like, we already pay for the road, so why am I also paying fucking tolls?
Yeah.
You should never have to pay a road.
That's
toll.
my shit. Like,
Dude,
what
why
the
do I gotta
fuck?
pay fucking tabs every year? An arbitrary little sticker on my thing that says
Yeah.
I paid my thing for the month,
For
so I
a
can have the sticker that says I paid the thing, so I can have the sticker that
Yeah,
says
it's supposed to represent
fucking
that you've
stupid.
taken emissions, basically, but you pay tabs every year, and you only have to do emissions twice a year, and you have to pay
Well,
tabs
and-
even if you live in places where you don't have to take emissions. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
Exactly.
that's the thing. Is like, especially like Marysville, for a long time, you didn't have to have emissions.
And
You
it's
just
like that in
released the
Arlington
ball.
right
also
now, yeah.
didn't have to, like, you used to be able to get for an extra $35 or $55 you could get, if you didn't pass emissions, you could get a sign-off sheet for it.
Yeah, saying you've spent this much money toward it, and any more money toward it would be a waste of,
Yeah.
like, manpower and...
So, but you can still drive your car and go get your tabs.
Yeah.
Like, there's a ways around not even passing the emissions thing.
Yeah.
And then you're just paying more fucking money.
Yeah.
And then we, the people in this state, specifically Washington State, fuck you, Jay Inslee, just want to put that out there. We voted for $30 car tabs, outstandingly. People want to talk about the election. Let's talk about our shit down here.
Yeah.
We voted for the fucking $30 car tabs, which we were already getting illegally fucking shit on for. They were supposed to be going off of a Kelly Blue Book value. They were going almost 3 times the fucking rate of the Kelly Blue Book value. And then they still are able to do it. After we voted for $30 car tabs, they took it to the fucking Supreme Court and overruled the people. And then he still got voted in.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't understand it. I'm gonna put it out here right now. Like, I'm big into conspiracies, but
Probably not the best way to open up
I just want to be honest.
your accusations.
I want to be honest. And people will probably think this is a conspiracy, but I think he had to have cheated. I don't
That's
know
officially a conspiracy.
anybody. Yeah,
Just technically
exactly.
speaking.
I'm just saying, like, I'm into him, and I feel like people are gonna think this is a conspiracy, and it probably is. And it is my theory. So, it's a conspiracy theory.
There you go.
But
It's official.
I think he cheated. I don't know any of even my, like, diehard liberal friends that, like, the only kind of people that you would think would vote for Jay Inslee. Just because he's, like, that party, didn't vote for him. So who the fuck voted for this guy?
I don't know. I know that we've talked about it before, but I think that it's just population, like the areas and the just
way that it
pulling
settles
data
out.
from
Yeah.
different regions and stuff, like, because you got to think
Like
Seattle.
gerrymandering and shit.
Well, see, just in the sense that, like, when you're talking about you don't know anyone that voted for Jay Inslee. Well,
Yeah, I
shit,
also
hell,
don't
people
know.
don't know anyone that's had COVID, but you know,
That's a good
that doesn't mean that it is not happening out there. You know.
Yeah, well, I'm
Just
I mean,
statistically, the amount of people.
yeah, I know 2 people that have had COVID, and like my little brother and sister had both had COVID. They thought they had the flu, and for them that's just what it was. Like, not even the flu; they thought they had allergies, and then it didn't go away for like a week and a half. So they went to the doctor, and they were like, "Oh, well, you have the antibodies, so you've had COVID." And my mom and dad live in the same house with him. My brother cooks food for him every night the entire time they had COVID, and for some reason, neither of them have gotten it. And that's weird. My mom's like, I'm pretty sure she's diabetic, and my dad's diabetic and also has gout. So, my stepdad. So, like, they are in the, like, range of people that are supposed to get it
Prime demographic.
and be in like the worst situation.
Yeah.
And neither one of them got it. So it's just a weird thing. But it isn't that people aren't getting it.
Yeah,
It isn't that it's a fake disease. It's not a fake disease.
No, not at all.
COVID is there's multiple of them. It's a real thing. It's out there. There's a lot more to come. So get braced for it because it ain't the only one.
Yeah.
Over the next 100,000 years, there's a shit ton of pandemics on the rise.
Well, I mean, yeah, look at like the last time there was like a big global pandemic about 100 years ago. It's just like everything. I think everything's a cycle. Everything's so cyclical, you know.
That's
yeah,
why
the thing though is now like the way that humanity is kind of like conquered the most of the planet, and we're like so connected with the internet now. I think we're putting a stop to a lot of cycles, and we're like jamming sticks in a lot the gears right now,
yeah.
you know, and spokes, you know.
Yeah,
like
we're
about to flip over our handlebars metaphorically.
So like what's the outcome then? Like usually when you flip over your handlebars,
You're
it's
fucked,
not a
you
good
know?
thing.
Yeah, I think
so.
I think that a lot of cycles that are getting broken, you know, like natural cycles, you know, like you see, like you hear, you know, people talking about bees are dying and shit like that. Like, I don't know anything about that, but I know that shit is terrifying because if shit gets out of whack too far, like our food supplies die off.
Yeah.
You know,
And then we're super
like our
fucked.
crops and our animals who depend on those crops, that all goes. You know.
Yeah, that's
and you
one.
see that exact thing play out in smaller ecosystems.
Yeah.
You know, within cities and stuff where, let's say, people build a park, and now it changes the fucking rate of pigeon eggs that are laid,
Yep.
and so the lizard
Yeah.
population is like
Goes out
Exactly.
crazy.
You know, there's like
Yeah.
way too many toxins in
And
the
it's the
stream
butterfly
because
effect
the
in
certain
action.
fish that eat the frogs, that eat the eggs, like they're not getting the nutrients. Like
Yeah, it's a
and so
runoff effect.
That's like it's completely feasible that would happen on a global scale with enough things being changed at
Yep,
once
yep.
to throw off like straight up the way that shit
And I think
happens.
it's
That's
kind of
why I'm
inevitable.
kind of scared about, to be honest, the whole like climate change initiative, because we're trying to put a halt to something we really don't understand. Like, we think it's us.
Mhm.
They say that there's evidence towards it, but we also have a long history of evidence that says otherwise. That says that the fucking Earth does that every couple 100,000 years or so, and that we're at like the tail end of an ice age that lasted 250,000 years or something like that, or a million years. Insane time. I can't even remember the time scales because they're so fucking vast.
Sure. I mean, when you get so far, it's really unfathomable. Anyways, it's all just
That's where it's
how
like,
can you memorize the word that represents a number?
Yeah, well, and also to just like it just shows that we're a blink, you know.
Yeah.
Just on the grand, universal scheme of things, we're just a fucking blip, you know.
well, what scares me
We're
is I
here right
feel
now,
like we could take such a drastic measure to try to stop one of these things that we think is going to be like this global catastrophe, like sea rise. Okay, so people got to move in. We got so much land that isn't used. You're going to move in. But in order to stop that sea rise, you could be fucking up this whole other thing you don't even
Sure.
realize is a fucking problem. And then you fuck it up, like oil. I think oil, like the Earth, right, it expands and contracts. I think, theoretically, like, as the moon pulls on it, like, the crust comes up and there's expansion and contraction, and oil is in the earth, and we found out that not all dinosaur bones are oil, right? So there is natural deposits of oil that is created inside of the earth already. It's been there forever. Those are like hydraulics. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and
sure, I
like
see
where
what you're
people
saying.
were taking oil out, we had a lot of
You're
collapses.
saying
That's
it's
why
like
they started
lubricant,
pumping
and
water
we're
and
taking the
shit back
lubricant
in.
out.
Exactly, and so then we have had earthquakes because of it. That's why they started doing like the fracking and stuff, where you pump water and stuff back into the hole that you just fucking emptied with oil. You put in the same kind of viscous substance in order to give that cushion. Because when you take out all the cushion, you fucking get sinkholes and you get all these other shit, which happens around the world. Where they're
Terrifying.
just
Sinkholes
sucking
are
oil out of
terrifying.
the
Oh
water.
my God, yeah.
Like,
you ever
and-
seen? Sorry, go ahead.
But like in Afghanistan and stuff, where we sucked all the fucking oil out of the ground, like I guarantee they weren't fracking it and like putting water back in. They weren't giving a shit. They're just sucking it out, and like collapsing buildings, all kinds of shit that's happening over there.
Are
that you
fire
probably
tornadoes
don't
real?
hear.
Is that a real thing?
Fire tornadoes?
Yeah, is that real? I've seen like videos where it's like an oil deposit got set on fire and it makes a fire tornado.
Yes.
That's real?
Yeah.
That's fucking terrifying.
Sure,
Yeah,
that's
the ones
real.
that come out of like there's a fire tornado, like a spout of fire that kind of spins a little bit.
I'm talking about like
natural
up to the
gas.
clouds, though.
Yeah, this one isn't that big, but it's a natural gas one that's been going for like 75 years now.
Oh, jeez.
There's someone caught a natural gas line, a pocket of natural gas on fire, and it's just been fucking burning for like 75 years. They don't know how long it's gonna burn, but there's nothing they can do about it. It's just gonna.
It might be
burn
better
this
though, because
field
otherwise,
for as long as
what
it's got
kind of
gas.
like you're just releasing that gas into the atmosphere? Other than that, better to burn it off.
Yeah, let it explode.
Yeah, or even just to have it be
Fill
part
up
of our breath, you know?
Yeah, like everybody's complaining about more CO2 in the air, and then
what
you
gas
could be
was
having this gas. Well, it's something flammable, obviously.
Yeah.
It's one of those flammable gases.
Yeah.
Nothing good.
It's an aerosol now.
Yeah. People were dying around the area. That's how they found this natural gas, because there was like a housing development around, and like people were passing out, falling asleep, and never waking up. And they found out, oh, there's natural gas.
I read about
Pockets
this town
shooting
that it was like 200,000 people or something ridiculous like that. All just died overnight because there was some gas leak that just like
I seen a video
everybody
on that.
died.
Yeah, it like swept through the
Yeah,
town.
yeah.
Like a noxious gas burped out of the earth and just like swept through this town and just killed everybody in their sleep. What the fuck? That could happen at any time. That's why I don't like worry about the small shit. Like,
Yep. Can't sweat it.
I watch fucking. I be watching. What do you call that volcano? This thing's loaded. But
Let's make this a thing.
I tried to set a lighter there for you a while back.
Just
But I watch the Yellowstone volcano all the time because that shit rose like 10 feet just a year and a half ago. I was like, it's gonna blow. We're fucked. We have fucking shit going off that shouldn't have been going off, like the that steamboat geyser. First time in a century or so that thing had gone off. And those are all the things that like you watch in 2005. They had a documentary on the volcano and like what to look for when it blows. And I'm like, well, these are a couple of things on the list right here. A couple of rising areas, you know, herds of fucking animals leaving the area. Like there were many videos of herds and herds of buffalo just down the street leaving Yellowstone.
When Mount St. Helens erupted, there was for months leading up to it, there was like major volcanic activity, swelling in the mountain, like on like the northeast face or something. It rose like it was rising like 6 feet a day or something like that,
which is insane.
Or 6 feet a week, something where it's like this is not like negligible anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
you
this
guys
is-
got to do
something's
something
going
about
on. They warned the town. They had everyone evacuate. Everyone stayed out in like hotels for a couple weeks or a month or something.
And they went back.
And then they all went back because they're like, "Hey, fuck this! You can't tell us what to do." You know, this it started getting into like almost like COVID levels of like,
Yeah.
you can't-
Politics.
yeah, like you can't make, and that's exactly what it turned into, where you had like mayors and like, people,
Like,
people
our fucking
like,
townspeople
no, we're
deserve
trying
to
to
be
keep
here.
you safe. We're trying to keep you safe. Like, that's our duty is to keep you safe. And they're like, "No, fuck this. We're fucking Americans. Let us go. We have the right to our property." So they
They
went
ain't
back.
wrong,
A lot of
but
people went back, and
you going
and then
back.
that shit blew up.
Yeah.
And then that guy who got trapped in it just filmed.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
just filmed anyways. He was like, I'm going to die, so I'm just going to film it.
That's so insane. It's insane that they were able to recover the footage.
Yeah. Yeah, everything got
He,
covered in
like,
ash.
after he filmed it, he like
Covered it up.
put it in his bag and wrapped himself around.
What a fucking gangster.
Yeah.
That dude, like, fuck all these other statues of people. That motherfucker deserves a statue. Why
Really?
do we need to fucking put a statue of this guy up? What's his name? We
Really?
need that guy's name. That guy's fucking insane.
Yeah.
That's dope. Like, I wouldn't have the nuts to sit there and watch my death come my way and then protect the whole thing so other people could see what it looks like from my perspective. The fuck? I wouldn't be thinking about nobody else.
Right.
I would be like, how the fuck do I survive right now?
Where's a rock? I'm hiding under it.
Like, I'm gonna dig a hole as quickly as I possibly can
What do
and
you-
bury myself like a little
what do you-
badger.
Like a
What are you
little
even-
badger.
What are you even gonna do? Like lava? I mean, when you're that close, there's like shock waves, and you're dealing with.
Like,
you're
even the
gonna-
air becomes noxious,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, you're gonna suffocate in that hole and die still.
even if you didn't suffocate, you would boil.
Yeah, you would cook to death,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Your lungs probably boil before you're outside.
Yep.
You're breathing hard and you're panting.
Oh, Did you see those people on the volcano that just erupted recently? Like, they take these tours out there, right? I watched a documentary on it, and, like, they're talking to the people that survived, that they got off of the island because of two guys that, like, went in there with a helicopter and did the job that the Australian police wouldn't do. Like, they told to stand the fuck down, and these two guys just hopped in their copter and fucking flew off and went and did it. They're just regular guys. They just saw that this thing exploded and was like, fuck, people need help. Hopped in their shit and went.
That's heroism.
Yeah, and they got fucked up too. Like, severe burns and shit. Like, the one lady that they're talking to, it starts off with, she's like, her whole face is just annihilated. Skin peeled, all that.
Oh my
her
God.
fingers are shorter. Like, lost her fingers and toes and stuff. Like, insane. She also lost her sister and her dad.
Oh my God.
And then, like, a dad lost his
See, that's
son.
why I don't, like, go in airplanes when I don't have to. I don't fucking bungee jump. I don't skydive. I don't do any of that. I don't speed. I don't do anything like that. I fucking drive the speed limit, bro. I fucking avoid confrontation when I can. Like, I am not trying to fucking end up with my face peeled off by a chimpanzee or...
Right?
I don't go...
Yeah.
I don't hang out with snakes and shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm good, dude.
I don't need anything that could kill me.
Like, I'm not gonna run away from that
nowhere.
stuff, but, like, I'm not going to the zoo.
There's no reason.
I'm not going, you know?
There's no reason to go. I got Animal Planet.
Like, if someone...
Google, man.
Like, if I'm at a buddy's house and he's got a snake, I'm good. But, like, I'm not going to the zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
for the record, no, I don't really want to hold it, man.
yeah.
No,
I
right?
don't want to touch a snake. I'm sorry. That's gay, and don't ever ask me again. That's how I put it to him.
Cash, buddy.
They're fucking... It's insane to me. Like, I see some crazy shit. So they get up on this island. They're on a boat cruise. And this is just like a little detour thing. And it turns into a fucking catastrophe. They're walking up into, like, the mouth of the volcano. And it's been dormant for a while. And then all of a sudden, like, the guides, they can hear the guides going, is the ground's like 2 or 3 feet higher, right? Yeah, I think it is. Oh shit, we need, and then there was an outgassing. And they were like, we need to go. And they start running back towards the boat. And then, like, 10 seconds later, boom, it just fucking goes off. And they get hurled back to the fucking boat.
Man.
And they hid behind rocks, and then, like, the air and the heat and everything, it did burn their lungs, inside their lungs and everything. Like, it fucked them up, killed a bunch of people. And then those two guys, a bunch of people were still at the boat and on the dock. They got out and filmed all of it. There were people on the boat still that were filming. And then those two helicopter guys came in, rescued all the people that they could that were in it, and then another explosion like happened and almost killed everybody in the helicopter and shit, and they still managed to get up and out and get everybody to the hospital.
Man.
Insane.
Can you imagine, like, I was thinking back to the guy with the camera, you know, who survived, or who fucking died.
Yeah.
He, like, died, like, being covered in ash, you know? Can you imagine how fucked up that would be as a death? Like,
Just to suffocate in ash.
yeah, you're, like,
hot,
burning on your
ash.
outside, and your lungs are burning, and you can't just die. Like, you're still breathing. There's still a little bit of oxygen.
Yeah, and you're gonna keep gasping
Yep.
for air.
Yeah.
Because it's just a natural
And
physiological
every air
reaction.
or every breath hurts, you know? Worse and worse.
Yeah, because it's just getting more
And
more
luckily,
deep.
eventually, you'll fucking pass out.
Hopefully
feel
sooner
like a-
rather than
right.
later.
I feel like at a certain point, adrenaline, even before you pass out, adrenaline kicks in and you kind of go somewhat numb.
Hopefully.
You gotta be
On
getting
the
that
outside.
DMT by then.
Yeah, like your brain dripping drugs. That's a T-shirt coming soon. Your brain dripping drugs. But yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna go to hell for this, but battered women's shelters everywhere. This is not my best. That's my worst.
That was so good though. These people. I wonder how long that stopped recording for. I forgot to check. They only do 30-second things, so in the video it might go from video to black screen and words for you on the YouTube thing later because I smoke weed And I forget shit.
Oh, we every day.
And I still don't have the like full on. I gotta download the Black Magic's Pro thing onto the SD card so it can film for longer than 30 minutes. It's like a hacking thing. It's another software you can put into on an SD. But sometimes it destroys your camera, so it's like a 50-50 chance. That's why I haven't
Roll
taken
those
it yet.
dice,
but
yeah.
I'm gonna have to roll it because we need it. Because I'm fucking terrible at this camera thing. Maybe if I hook my button thing up to it, that might be the way to go. I don't know. I'll figure that
Trigger
out.
up?
Yeah, I got like a little button. I think it starts and stops the record too.
Man,
It's not
that's
for photos.
way
but-
too boss to just have a little handle. You're
Yeah.
like,
All right, let's go.
Somewhere around here. It's meant for like taking the stop motion photography because you don't want to actually like push the trigger on the handle, so you want an automatic trigger, like a little quick trigger.
Sit down.
So that's what they look like, kind of like. a
oh,
dildo.
that's boss.
And then you just plug it into the thing. You gotta try it out. You know.
Dude, you need a little just a little chain.
Hook? Yeah, I know. Just so you can get airflow through here. It would be.
I heard they make
sweet.
those.
Yeah. I'm just, again, lazy here.
Yeah,
Welcome
I
to
feel
the
it.
show.
I feel it.
Dude, if you got 2 screws, we can crimp up some of that aircraft cable and just make a little
That is.
screw in the door, screw in the frame.
I'm pretty sure I do have screws.
Good.
After the show, I might have to do that.
I was like fixing.
Yeah, that's like
Fixing, making
solid
shit.
shit.
it's
Yeah.
good to do when you get like a stick up your ass enough to do it, but like until then, I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Dude, he fucking makes all kinds of shit.
yeah.
Like this guy,
Right.
like beyond music, like he makes all kinds of shit. He's made something spectacular. I let my cousin's baby daddy. He does windows and shit, and he saw it. I was showing it to him. He's like, "You gotta let me test this out." I was like, "Fuck yeah, let me know. Give me a
The
feedback."
intrigue rises.
Dude.
Did you give it to him?
Yeah, he's fucking stoked. He ended up using it for the windows. He's
Oh,
like,
is he
"This
the one
shit's
working
sick."
out there?
Yeah, he was the one working out there. He's like, "I'll fucking bring it back to you in a couple weeks and let you know what you think."
Yeah, I was gonna say, make sure you get that back. That's
Oh yeah,
a day 1 prototype.
oh yeah. I just fucking was like, "You gotta try this out. Let me know. Give me some feedback." Because he won't bullshit me, which is beautiful.
That's important because so many people do.
Yeah, he will not bullshit me. And he was so intrigued by it. I was like, "That's the money. That's the money."
You should. You got those pictures?
Oh
I got some pictures on my phone, but he took some actual really cool pictures of shit. They're,
yeah, I think they're on this SD card though.
They're little hangers for
Unfortunately.
like your bits, your drill bits, and tools and stuff
Oh
like that.
shit! Okay. That's dope.
You got little stickers on them, a little logo. Some shit.
Nice.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time in
Dude,
here
I was fucking
measuring
shocked.
shit, cutting shit, making a
I was
million little
like-
labels, trying, oh, this one needs to be 22 micrometers longer.
Oh,
Sorry,
shit.
print another sheet.
Yeah, I got those typed up too. I just got to figure out on the notepad thing that I have. It's sticky notes. I don't have like notepad on my computer for some reason.
Oh.
I couldn't find it. I'm like, the fuck?
Dude, you can download a little notepad app.
So I was like, I have a sticky note, and I'm like, all right, so I'll just do it in the sticky note, and it's got bullet
Formatted
points and all that.
differently and shit.
And it's, well, you can't send it or share it. It's just on the fucking computer. I'm like, well, this is retarded.
Copy paste.
That's what I'm gonna just copy what I already wrote out and then get notepad. I was like, what the fuck? Because I did it first thing this morning. I was like, probably 4:30 a.m. I was like, no, I'm here. Why not? I'm fucking groggy. Type this up, get it done, try to send it over, and then I ended up getting busy with doing shit in the house. Yeah, grandparents got new windows. Super stoked.
Oh yeah.
My grandparents super stoked, and it keeps the house super insulated. They're super stoked. We spent a good time yesterday fucking taking it out, and I don't know shit about windows. Floors, counters, cabinets, walls, like basic sheetrock shit. Not anything about like framing windows. I had don't even know where to start.
Sure.
So, but that's what he does. But for like commercial shit. So
Honestly, it's just intimidating to rip out studs. That's the only part. Is like you just have to go for it.
yeah, like, and I don't have a problem taking out the studs. It's just like I don't know why we were taking, like, they were cutting ones out. I'm like, why are we doing this? And then when we built the actual window frame, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That just fits up in there. I got you.
Yeah, yep.
And then we restudded around it. I was like, it's kind of like a door frame, just
Pretty much.
a little different.
Yeah.
So makes sense, but I just not gonna claim to know something that I've never really
Sure, yeah.
done. So, and they were like, "Do you know how to do this?" I'm like, "No." I was like, "I'm not gonna lie to you and
Right.
tell you that I'm gonna be. You can just be like, do this thing." First off, it may not be what it's been called before to me by someone, because he asked for a tool that I never heard it be called that before.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what the name of these things are, obviously, my guy. And he was like, well, there's a bunch of names for it. And I'm like, well, then maybe a
another.
common one?
Yeah.
Like a common name that you hear everybody say. That would help me out, so I would understand. So I don't feel like an idiot, because now I'm just like, what was that? The one with the, I'm like, the buzzy one?
On one of my
Fuck that.
first days on my current job, which I've been at for like about 4 years now, but
Damn.
one of my coworkers, at the time, he sent me to another coworker to get his Christmas tree bit. And I was like, okay, I don't know what this is, but I'm assuming the guy that I'm going to ask for it will know what I'm talking about. Well, he has no idea. He's like, oh, fucking Christmas tree bit? What are you talking about?
Fuck is
Like, call Cody and ask him what the fuck he's talking about. And, yeah, but it's exactly what you're talking about tools being called different things, because it's a unibit or a step bit or a
Okay,
step saw.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, but, apparently it's kind of shaped slightly like a Christmas tree if you look at it from the side.
Okay,
so,
I can understand where, but I've
Christmas tree
never
bit,
heard it
and-
called. That's
well,
insane.
it's just funny because he sent me out to get this thing, and since then
Bro.
I've never heard anyone call it a
I
Christmas
literally
tree.
Yeah,
know.
I
So
would've-
it's like,
That's insane. I would have thought he was doing the thing like where you're on construction sites, and they'll be like,
fucking with you.
yeah, like, go get my fucking, my
that in kitchens,
milliglogger. And like, okay. And what the fuck is a milliglogger? You know what the milliglogger is? I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
If
We,
you don't
uh,
fucking,
At the
come on.
restaurant, we send people for the bacon stretcher,
Yeah.
or we tell them to go downstairs to the basement that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we're
That
like,
kinda
hey, go
shit.
get a can of steam from next door from Blue Water.
Yeah, I need you to
So
get
we
some
send
steam.
cooks like to the restaurant next door, and they're like, "Yo, can I get a can of steam?" And they're like, "What?" He's like, "I'm here to get a can of steam. They said you'd be expecting me."
First off,
And then so they have to go get the manager, and the manager's like, "What do you need?" And he's like, "Yo, let me get a can of steam." And the manager's like, "Get the fuck out of here," because we do it like every time we get a new cook.
why do they, like, I would just be like, no,
Right.
I'm not getting a
You
can
know,
of
you see
steam.
some crazy shit in the restaurant industry, though. I remember this one guy. He was, he's been to prison, and like he's like a very, seasoned person, human, you could say, and he likes to fuck around with people. And there's this younger kid who came in. He was fresh, he's never had a job before, and this guy, we'll call him like Jeff. He fucking
And his name's like fucking Evan.
something.
Name's Jeff.
We'll just call him Jeff. He
Okay.
fucking, he's a big dude, right? He pulls his pocket out and he says, hey, just hold on to this for a little bit, And the guy's like, okay. He grabs this guy's pocket, and Jeff goes, hey, just follow me around. So dude's literally grabbing onto his pocket,
That's some
following
prison
around.
shit.
It's some straight prison shit. And after a while, Jeff's getting uncomfortable. He's like, yo, like, oh my fucking pocket, dude. This is getting weird. Like, get the fuck away from me. Like, what you doing? He's like, you told me to hold. He's like, no, shut the fuck up. I know what I said to you. Get the fuck away from me.
He's like, you're my bitch now, though.
Yeah.
Remember that. If I ever
pretty
tell you to
funny.
hold my pocket, you better damn well do it.
Right.
Get
was
away
pretty
from me.
funny, though. He always goes, better get off the tracks when the train's coming. He's funny, dude.
That's fucking hilarious.
If you fuck with him, he goes, I'm gonna knock you out and suck your dick.
Yeah.
Just tries to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I actually like people like that.
Yeah,
They're
he's a funny
some
dude.
of my favorite.
He's a funny guy.
Some of my favorite people. Small doses, but some
Right,
of my
yeah.
favorite people. Just to like interact with.
Well, yeah, it's just like an adventure.
Yeah, exactly. You never know what's gonna come next.
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes my anxiety go through the roof if, like, because I know some people that are like that, but they
Take
go
it too
from
far,
like
yeah.
good to violent, and then you're like, well, that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
There was no need for that. Like, let's box. No, let's. No one should box because then it turns into like everybody's getting shot.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck. You asked for the boxing. Just because you got your nose broken doesn't.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
But that's why I try to stay away from like big gatherings, shindigs. I've been going to some metal shows. That was one thing I was gonna bring up. I'm glad I said that because it just kicked my head back in. It was so weird going to this Halloween metal show and seeing Brad play for the purpose being.
Oh, you're right.
And then none of them knowing who I was, even though I had met them multiple times beforehand. And I was like, "You guys don't remember?"
Fucking rude as
Like,
fuck.
I don't remember you. I was like, I know I've lost some weight. I look a lot sexier than I used to be. But you know,
Hey.
I just left it at that. I didn't tell them why they would know me or anything, and then just kept taking pictures. Took a bunch of pictures of their band for them because Brad was there, and Brad hired me to come out and take photos, which I'm trying to get to him, but his email keeps rejecting
What the fuck?
everything I send to him, so I'm gonna have to make
Just put them on a Google Drive. Or maybe on Dropbox.
I'm doing Dropbox. That's what I'm gonna do, so I can send him a link, and that will, because Google Drive won't send it to him. It like errors out for some reason. I've tried it 50 million times, and at this point,
I heard that 50 million one usually works.
Dude, it's a good possibility. So I'll try it one more time.
Yeah, you
while
probably
doing
better.
the Dropbox at the same time for backup sake.
There you go, smart. Cover both bases.
That's the beauty of having two screens on your computer, and a second computer with a third screen.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's what that big beauty right next to you is another beautiful computer.
Yeah, that's fucking massive.
And the shitty thing is they're both gaming PCs, yet I can't play COD on either one of these PCs for some reason. This one just like legs up and is like, I'm not gonna play it, and then this one will crash.
And you like turn resolution down and shit?
I've done all of that. I've tried to take the dump and drop it down. I've gotten into forums. I've gone to hackers. I've gotten into a whole bunch of like groups to try to get people to help me. No one seems to know why. I don't understand why. I've sent stuff to even like big YouTubers like Linus Tech Tips and a bunch of other ones like Jay's 2 Cents, asking if they would do a video on it and maybe help a fool like me. And if they've ever heard of this problem before, because no one else I know, everybody that I've talked to is like, nuke your fucking PC and buy a new one. I'm like, but it works for everything else.
Yeah.
I can video edit on them, I can do music recording and everything and editing, no issues with that.
I have some
Only
weird
issues.
problems with my computer too. I have a computer that is fucking dope in every regard, but I can't video edit on it at all. Like it lags up too much. I'll try to do, you know, like there's a video preview window. When I push play, like it won't even play. It'll just freeze up instantly.
What?
And it's a dope computer. It's got like 32 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, same.
It's got a terabyte hard drive.
Yeah.
And it's got like some dope ass processor. I don't remember.
I got an iCore 5, which isn't like dope. It's a core processor, 4-core processor, quad core. And it's like the top of the line during the i5 series. But it's not, like they're on i9 right now, going to i10 or some shit like that, which is insane. And then Ryzen kind of, I guess, just blew the fucking game out of it. I wish I had I was looking at processors the other day. Black Friday's coming up, so I'm thinking about upgrading the processor. The problem with that is I'm pretty sure these motherboards are DD3 and DDR3, and you need to go to at least like DDR4, and then I would have all 32, maybe like 64 gigs of RAM or 68 gigs of RAM that I have between both of these PCs would be useless, and then I would only have like 32 gigs of RAM that would fit a DDR4, because I have 32 gigs of RAM for DDR4 that's just sitting here. They won't fit these, because I didn't know about that. And
I don't know shit about computers.
I've had to learn.
That's the fucked up thing, is if you want to be a musician or any kind of artist, you have to learn so many other mediums besides the medium that you're performing in. It's fucked up. You have to
If
become
wanna
like,
get that out there,
if you want to be successful, like financially, just
Yeah.
like a career in anything, you have to like master so many different talents that have nothing to do except for one facet with your art. You know.
And
Yeah.
if if your art facet of talent isn't good enough, you're wasting your time. with all the
Exactly,
rest, too.
Yeah, then you're just fucking.
And even on top of that, even if you are dope as fuck at the thing that you're passionate about, if you're not good at those other things, you're fucked. You're fucked.
I mean, the only saving grace I would say is that you would have the ability to monetize that knowledge that you have on that brain.
Yeah, you
Of
can
all
become a
those
teacher of those elements, but if you haven't been successful in it, it's not.
You're not
It's
likely
not easy to
to
advertise
succeed.
yourself, you know.
Yeah,
As a
and-
teacher,
Yeah, like what are you gonna teach me, you know, if you haven't done it yourself? It's like, well, I know everything to do with it, I just can't seem to make it work. It's like, fuck. Shit.
Oh, you're good. You can just leave those down. They'll fall again.
I'll never.
Yeah, I mean, with today, it's so easy though. If you really want and you have money to back it, that's the biggest thing. It's
Yeah,
like
money
backing money.
And time too. You can't
Yeah.
be like,
Well, and that's
you can't be like a dad and a fucking career man, and
Yeah.
also like a talented fucking artist and a husband.
no,
It's fucking impossible.
not.
like- and if you are, it's
spread
like
your
you're-
time out
And
equally.
and the thing is, like, even if you're doing it equally, like, you're shorting someone who deserves better.
Oh yeah,
know?
somewhere it's getting shorted.
And that is fucking fucked up. It sucks. Like, I'm in this position. Like, I have a son, I have a wife, I have a career.
Yeah.
You know, I own a home. I'm supposed to, like, do so much. And I still want to be a musician, you know, and I, like, consider myself, like, a top-tier musician. I, like, put a lot of fucking work into it. Like,
Yeah.
this shit is complicated. And,
Dude, I want to show him some of
go for it,
your
yeah.
shit,
It's-
which is
Oh,
amazing.
great.
It is amazing. I'm hoping it will pick up in the.
Did you?
The
I
system
feel like
for
you
you
might
guys?
have shown me.
I might have
something
the
of-
DBZ thing.
But it's like, you know, I'm here instead of with my family right now. You know,
Yes.
talking about this. Like, these things take up time and, like, responsibility dictates that only so much time should be taken up doing certain things. So you have to make compromises.
And that's the thing is like I'm personally in a lucky area where I don't have kids, I don't have a wife.
Yeah,
I don't have.
you really are in a golden moment, you know.
Yeah, well,
doesn't
I
last
mean,
forever.
it's not it's something I've chosen. Like, I don't get into. I've had many a chances in the last year and a half, especially since COVID started. Rutting season had started as soon as the cold started coming through, and my Tinder went. Dude, I'd have so many STDs if we had Tinder in high school.
Oh, I feel that.
It's so insane. Now that I'm like smarter and older, I'm like, well, we don't need to fuck. Like, it just doesn't. I'm tired and lazy. Like, it becomes a hassle, right? To go out of your way unless you really need to, and don't. There's not many times you really need to. Maybe once a year, twice a year. Like, I'm fucking Buddhist in this mind.
I love it.
And I already had so much in high school, right? Like, that it almost lost its flavor because it was just like, all right, it's easy to get. If you want it, you can get it.
You got to get into that weird shit.
Yeah,
Like
which I've gotten into some
Asian
weird shit,
Asian
and that's probably
fart,
why I
fart fucking fetish
fetishes
shit or
and
some
shit.
shit, you know.
Not that I'm not into feet or like weird fetishes, but I am into like trying like Karma Sutra and like
for sure,
doing
yeah.
all of them in all the different positions and trying all that kind of shit out.
I was interested in the Kama Sutra for a little bit. I remember reading that there are two parts of the body that are non-sexual and everything else can be sexualized.
Yep.
And they said that it's your upper lip and your elbows, and I was like, I think the upper lip could be sexualized.
I'm pretty sure people can sexualize it because people have like
Yeah.
a beard now is considered
Yeah,
a cock broom,
mustache ride. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
and cock broom. Like if you're gay, that's what they call it, is a cock broom.
I don't even know
And
what you're
it's-
referring to. Oh, you're talking.
Like a mustache. They call it a cock broom.
Oh,
Because it like brooms the head of the cock. while you're
that
doing
makes
it.
me.
I heard about this recently. I was like, well, that's the information I could have lived to the end of my life without knowing. But I'm going to spread it to everybody now that I know it.
You might have to pose as
I'm
a
gonna look at
legit
men with
gay
mustaches
person
in a different way
Yeah,
now.
and
it's
to
CIA or
sneak into
something.
some club to get the fucking.
Might I point out
CBD
to our
What's a
audience
cock
who isn't
broom,
viewing
sir?
that
Be like,
literally every
passwords
person in this
cock
room
broom.
has a mustache, so.
I got a little one.
I actually just shaved everything today, but I kept a little bit around.
Yeah.
I hate
You're
shaving
shooting.
like all the way, dude. I haven't done it. When I worked at Boeing, I had to do it because I had a respirator fit test every year. And it was just like a firefighter where it's got a seal all the way around the frame of your face, so that if you're in an oxygen deprived environment, you can still breathe.
get air.
You don't have a bad seal between a broom or a beard and a mask. So we have to shave like with a razor, shaving cream, and everything. I do it once a year for my my respirator test. But yeah, ever since I quit there, fucking never going back.
Yeah, I
to
think
it.
I've been
look
about
like-
10
I'm about-
years since I clean shaved.
Well, I look about 10 years younger when I do.
That's
yeah,
my,
right.
I like almost clean shaved. I mean, there ain't much on the sides. I'm just now starting to grow it in. My dad told me he didn't grow his beard till he's 34. And then it fucking just went crazy. And I was like, well, that sucks. So I'm gonna look like a child for at least another 3 years. Like, it's just now starting to grow in. It grows mostly underneath of the fucking chin. Like,
Just where
that
it's
shit will grow
looking
huge,
good.
so it looks like giant fucking hairy nuts hanging underneath of my chin. I'm like, well, that's just a bad look. And then it curls too, so it looks way worse. It does look like just a fucking pubis sitting underneath of my shit. I'm like, well, that's bad. And then
That's bad. Astute observation.
then I get a bunch of little patchy spots, but I get long enough hair when it does grow in that it covers a lot of that. So
That's what's up.
I'm
I
thankful
had to
for
rely on that tactic back in the day. I remember for the longest time my mustache, I had to grow it long specifically because there was a spot in it that wouldn't grow by the corner of my mouth.
just to cover
Was
it.
it both sides or just one?
Just one side. It was fucked up. It was not
Strategic
symmetrical.
with it.
The
Yeah.
worst part about a mustache for me is like somehow I get hair in my mouth all the time.
Yeah.
It like grows down my lip and into my
Oh
mouth.
my god.
It
Well, what do you
fucking
think happens
sucks.
to me? This shit is probably a foot from side to side.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like after a
Bro,
certain length,
soup?
it's past your lip. And
Anything
Yeah,
you eat with
yeah.
a spoon,
you're
that
fucked.
shit is
over.
off the table.
Yeah.
I have
Not in
rocked
public.
I've rocked the lengthy beard before, and I will say I feel like I've been a server at a restaurant before in my life. This is my first job, and so when if there was someone with like a really bushy beard or mustache, I would always extra napkins
Yeah,
because they're gonna need them, dude. Every single bite you gotta wipe. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, if you're in
because
public.
your shit you get soup on it, you get
Oh yeah,
pizza
and
sauce on it, you get
it stays there.
yeah.
It
and
just
Oh, yeah, it's
chills
like a
out.
web.
After every bite, unless you want to look like just a slob.
Yeah,
you gotta
Yeah,
wipe
you're
that shit
about
off.
to
You're
look like a primal savage if
Yeah.
you don't do that shit.
Yeah, and so instead of just being hounded for more and more napkins all the time,
Oh,
you just
yeah.
learn, just give them more.
Give 'em a stack.
Give them a stack. But it
That's
always kind of
smart.
irritated me just a little bit when I would go to a restaurant.
And they would be
and
like,
I'd-
"Here's a nap."
I'd have to ask for a bunch of extra napkins because it's like,
Motherfucker,
the
you
math
see
here,
my
like-
fucking
Like I
beard.
got a giant food catcher on my face.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to save all of it for later. A little bit. Stuff
What I
that
don't
gets
get is
deep.
why don't they just put napkin dispensers on tables? Even in my restaurant, they should fucking do that, but the owner won't let me. But whatever.
because it doesn't look classy.
Doesn't look
You gotta
classy.
look classy.
But it's so much more efficient because then you don't get any napkin waste. People only grab the amount that they're using. You know.
You would hope, but
Shit,
that's
if
the
all
problem. Is like
restaurants were
if you
max
get
efficiency,
teenagers in there, not your
everything would
like
be
I don't think
McDonald's.
a whole lot of just regular high school kids are showing
That's
up. at
true.
your
Yeah,
place.
our demographic is definitely
You
like
worked
the
at
elderly.
Italy's?
No, I run Scuttlebutt.
Scuttlebutt.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, but that's the weird part. Is like a place like that where you could do the napkin thing, they don't.
Yeah.
But then you go to fucking McDonald's or Burger King and they got a napkin dispenser, and that's where the kids are just fucking ripping
Yeah,
them
yeah.
out and just throwing them all over the
Yeah, there's
place.
always napkins on the floor under the
Yeah.
tables and
They're
shit.
just like fucking
And
around.
then you
with
got
it.
places that take that to the extreme, like Diamond Knot, where they've just got peanut shells everywhere on the whole floor.
Yeah, they're like, fuck it. Everything is.
They're like, just throw them on the floor. Just do it.
It doesn't feel right at first. Like it takes you a while.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I don't have to.
Yeah, and then you
Hold
get the
the-
novelty for like a couple, minutes, and then you're like,
And then you walk to the bathroom and you're fucking
Yeah.
you got peanuts
Yeah.
all over
like
your
I'm over
feet.
it.
You take them home with you, and they get into your carpet and shit, and you're like, what the
Can you
fuck?
imagine working at that place though? That'd be rough. You'd have to get new shoes all the time and shit.
Mm,
Oh, dude.
Cause you know that shit would
I
tear up
wonder
your
if
shoe
it
treads.
turns to, like,
It's sawdust, just like paper.
I wonder if, like, from stomping around on them, if you left them there, if they didn't sweep them up and they left them there for a month, if you'd end up having, like, peanut butter floors.
You probably have really moldy floors
Yeah.
before you had peanut butter floors.
Well, it's the
sure.
shells, If it was the nuts, yeah, it definitely would turn into peanut butter for sure over time. But
Don't
yes,
they grind the shells up, too? Peanut
Oh,
butter?
I don't. I
In
never
theory, it
heard
would
of
just
that.
be peanut dust until you added some sort of moisture to make it a buttery consistency.
Touche.
Well, peanuts have.
But I
oil
feel
in
like the moisture from people
True.
slopping their
Plus,
beer
restaurant
around.
floors are generally greasy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Generally pretty
Yeah,
greasy.
I
that's
feel like
accurate
just the
statement.
slopping of beer and other
Mhm.
condiments and shit all over the floor and drool.
Yes, beer
Drunk
condiment, foot traffic drool, peanut butter. My favorite
Sauce.
flavor.
And
Sauce. Yeah, throw a sauce on there. It cleans it up.
then fucking mix that up, throw it in a batch, and then make a whiskey bourbon out of it.
Special house bourbon.
That's fucked up.
We filtered out all the shit.
Dude, let's hear this guitar.
Oh, yes. Shred. Alright, so this one is called 1 Minute. Go look it up. It was released 3 months ago. It is on the YouTubes right now, so go check it out. It is at Tyler Boylan on YouTube.
How's that
1 minute.
Uno minuto.
That's badass.
Hey, thanks, bro.
That was really badass.
Thank you, man.
Who does the? Did you do all the composition and the other instruments and stuff too?
Yeah,
or-
yeah. Actually, on the first 3 songs that I released, they're each like a minute long, and yeah, I did everything on them as far as all the audio. My buddy Daniel did the filming on 2 of them, and then I just hired some random guy for one of them.
Sick.
But that one in particular was filmed by my buddy Daniel, and he's pretty dope at editing. Number 2 has even better editing skills. It's pretty sick, but it's very DBZ heavy. I'm hashtagged this DBZ guitarist, so I have run that pretty heavily on my thematic stuff.
That's sick.
Yeah, let's give it a run on the DBZ one.
Go for it, yeah.
This is called 2. It was up 2 months ago. Go check it out.
How was that one?
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Fucking shouts out to Daniel too.
Yeah, he's a fantastic
Fucking killed
filmographer. He crushes editing
Dude,
and
I
filming
wanna-
in general.
I just want to know from my own knowledge, just to know if I'm getting better at noticing the lens types. That's a nifty 50, right?
Bro, you would have to ask Daniel about that.
Daniel, hit me up. Let me know. Is that
Shout
the
out.
50 mil? And
That was really badass, man. Do you like program the drums, or how do you?
Yeah, that's how I've been doing it.
So when I do my drums, I have like a MIDI. I have a MIDI drum set, like an electric drum set, but it sucks. It's not.
not
It's not. Well, the thing is, the pads are all really nice. The cymbals are really nice, but the cymbal, the hi-hat trigger, and the kick pedal are the only two parts of the whole set that aren't velocity sensitive.
Why? You would think
Like,
they would be the
that's
only
like-
two parts that need to be, really.
Exactly.
Well, I mean,
that's what
everything
I'm
really
saying,
needs to be, but
I mean,
yeah.
But like, if anything is
Yeah.
not gonna be velocity sensitive, maybe it's the fucking like ride or something.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
Or a
I
crash
just
or
couldn't
something,
believe
yeah.
it. So I hate that thing. I don't use it. Point being, what I use is a little like Yamaha 9-pad deal. It's about like this big.
MIDI controller, yeah.
But it's got like a little drum pad layout, and it is really nice with the snare. I don't have it, or with the kick pedal, I don't have like a hi-hat pedal, but I just set one of the pads to open, one to close, and just
Oh, nice, cool.
do whatever. Anyways, when I make drums for songs, and mind you, it's not as technical or as metal as any of that, but a lot of times I'll play out like the song, and then if I want to change something, I'll go back and I'll like play a new fill, or I'll manually add in stuff. So do you ever, with that like fast pace of drumming, are you ever like playing things on keys, or playing things like to make the bass of your rhythm, or is it pretty much all just click and drag?
It's
like
literally, I just use the piano roll the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't ever do any physical inputs because I'm not a drummer. I mean, honestly, I barely know how to program drums. Like, I don't know if that sounds decent or not as far as like a drummer's perspective. I try to just make sure that I'm conveying, the correct format that I'm trying to push the idea of my music in. Like if I want the music to come off with a triplet feel, I try to accent the first of every 3 notes or something, in the triplet pattern, with the triplet timing, as far as note value. Or like if I wanted to have it, instead of, accenting every third, if I wanted to accent every 6th one, then I'll do that, or whatever. But as far as like, flair and taste and, personal flavor, like it's all just robot shit, for me. Like, however, I'm lucky to work with Nick Pierce, the drummer who used to be in the Faceless, who's currently in Unearth.
Yeah.
He's actually working on a song with me right now. He sent me this track back recently, and it's fucking gangster.
was he playing live?
Yeah.
That's super nice.
He's a fucking monster.
He's super sick.
He is a monster.
He's insane with the drums. He really is.
And so on that same song, I'm going to get Ed Garcia from Vitalism. He's working on a solo for it right now. And I don't know if you guys know Vitalism or not, but they're a fucking gangster-ass gent band.
Yeah, I've heard him.
They're fucking fire. And so, been working on that.
I feel like I heard him on Stevie T, too. You listen to Stevie T on YouTube?
That guitarist guy who's hella funny? Yeah, he's definitely talked about him. Yeah.
Boots and cats, boots and cats, boots and cats. The shit
Yeah,
has
that
me
guy cracks
dying.
me up, dude.
This dude's hilarious.
Yeah,
He's
hella
like,
self-deprecating humor. And,
oh, it's so funny. He dresses up as his own sister that stalks him.
Yeah.
He's like, who you stalking? I got you. These fucking Coke bottle glasses on.
Jeez,
It's
yeah.
hilarious. Dude, it's hilarious. You mind if we play a piece of your, or
Go for it.
do you want to?
So, you're not going to have anything with vocals on it that's going to be very good.
That's what I was going to open it up and run the music.
Just the instrumental.
Yeah, because it's just that's morally what he does, unless you want to play some of the vocal stuff.
No, I mean, the instrumental is going to be better. I think the vocals just has a lot of practice runs and a lot of,
Yeah, that's mostly what because like you just started getting back into the actual singing part in the last like month or so. Or a couple months, I guess now, but like a month of maybe added up time, if that, of like actual studio time, like coming into the studio and laying stuff down.
well, that's why I love
And a lot of,
coming
like-
over here is like, if I can make an instrumental and like just come over here
Which
and
is-
hit record and just freestyle, on the microphone and just sing it out. Because, dude, a lot of times, I mean, with writing music, like especially maybe you can relate to this if you're trying to write like a lead riff in a little section, or like something that's gonna pop out on top of the track, something that you might have to improv to find. It's so nice to be able to just come here, smoke a blunt, smoke a joint, hang out for a little bit, and then just walk in there and just explore.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's important to the creative
yeah.
process. If you don't do that, then honestly, what you're doing isn't going to be your fullest capacity.
Yeah, because like most of the time you don't even have like written stuff. You're like, I have an idea of stuff that I've been practicing with, and then I want to try them out here and back, play them out, and then we'll come back to that thing like the next session and start working on them. But here, the fucking music you make is insane. Like when you sent me the first instrumental, I was like, you did all this? Like these weren't just like drum loops and shit. You're like, no, I did all of them. I'm
That's
like,
what's up.
what the fuck? I was like, I wouldn't be able to replicate it. That shit's insane.
Which one's this? I didn't know I don't remember even doing this song or singing it here.
Yeah, it looks like we just have a hook and some play around stuff at the end. It says on the outpost it's like old new. So it's like one of your old songs you'd had before that we were redoing here.
Who would you compare yourself to as far as musicianship?
I mean, bands. You mean like one-on-one, or like as a
whole?
artist?
As a whole.
Billy Talent. I don't know if you know Billy Talent. Muse. I'm a big fan of Muse.
Right on, nice.
I've listened to them so much that I can't help that their style sort of bleeds through me. Emery is another band that I listened to a shitload growing up. There's bands that undeniably influence me, whether or not they're like my favorites.
Sure, yeah.
But
Dude,
very musical.
very, very musical. That's what I was saying. Like the
Super
breakdowns,
dynamic, yeah.
the fucking the ranges, the layers of everything, like all blending together.
Yeah.
Like that's the shit you tried to show me, and I'm still not good at it to this day. Like I could not replicate that fluidness, like unless I played all of the things live, and I still wouldn't be able to make it sound that good.
To me, I feel like it's a matter of just like you have a bass idea and then you just refine, you know?
Yeah. Somehow, when I get to the refining process, I overly refine to where I just destroy
Yeah.
the entire thing.
That's the
and
thing
it becomes
that
a
happens.
nothing burger every time. There's a certain point where I just have to let what happens, like the natural flow of it go, and then anything from there is what it's going to be. Like, that's the kind of musician I am. That's why I'm not planning to be, like, a famous musician or make a bunch of money at being a musician. Because it's the hard work. Sitting behind the computer, fucking, you just have to learn what EQs and all that shit do, and it's easy.
I wouldn't trade you, man. I think
But you've already done all that work.
my job is the easy job when I'm concerned. I feel like I get behind a computer and I get frustrated. Like, I'm lucky I have Reaper because it's super, like, user-friendly, you know? And I have had a lot of friends around me to help me through that process of learning it.
Reaper is a sick program.
If I didn't have my friends to help me out in this, like, super user-friendly program to use, I would be screwed. Like, I don't even know how to set it up. If I had to start over from scratch, I'd be screwed. Even using Reaper and getting what you guys have heard out of that, like, I still would be fucked. If I had to try that from scratch, I wouldn't be able to redo it because I have, like, templates that are set up. I have shit is routed in certain ways that I don't know how to do it. I don't even know how to set up my fucking amp. Like, I'm fucked, dude. I just play guitar and I just fucking...
That is one beautiful thing
music, you know?
about when I work with him is that he does all of the recording and stuff, and he's set it all up into his own laptop, so he understands like the parts on the program.
Mhm.
So like we have a good communication line when it's
That's
like,
pretty
oh, we
fucking
need
lucky.
to get right in this area, and we can kind of communicate it pretty well to
that's
each other.
pretty
and
fucking
have a
lucky
good-
because most people don't know that side of it, and it's the hardest side of it, if you ask me.
To me, like I find like making the music and being able to make it sound fluid and nice is very difficult. You have to have a very special talent for that.
I feel like it's just patience because you just gotta just keep at it and like
100%.
also being self-critical is tough. It's tough. It's really hard because you get attached to ideas and they suck. They fucking suck.
Get demoitis.
Yep.
Can't shake that first one. You like
Right.
it so much. Well, I mean, some of the best songs that I've made have grown out of songs that I fucking deleted on accident.
Yeah,
you know? Or my computer crashed. It was all gone. I remember after spending. I mean, I'm not sure about your songs. I know that they're much, much more technical than mine, but for me, it's probably about 80 to 100 hours on a song to go from like 0 to ready for vocals, ready for just, it's good
Slap
to go.
together.
I think those minute-long
But-
songs that you heard, I probably spent maybe maybe 30 or 40 hours on each.
And that's so like it's mind blowing, but people don't realize they hear a minute of music, and it's like
It's hours of time.
It
that's
literally is.
tens of hours
And
of
that's
time.
including me just listening to the track like hundreds of times to like reflect on it,
Yeah. And then like what we just listened to, that's 4.5 minutes,
Something like that,
and
yeah.
it changes up like these bridges and all that shit. So that you equate 30-40 hours per minute. That's coming out to a couple like 120 hours worth
literally,
of time to make an entire track from start to finish. That's why I think you see a lot of the rappers nowadays. They come out with a minute 30 songs, 2-minute songs at the most,
and that's where it's going too. Also, on top of that, you've got people with
short.
short attention spans.
Yeah.
The modern day attention span is not what it used to be.
It's
Like
insane.
you got to hook people right away, and not only that, but it's not only just because people's attention span is shit. It's because there's way more competition with everything than there ever
Everyone
was.
can make shit and put it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
And
quicker
that's why you
can,
get extremes in every vein of whatever it is you're doing, because people need to be unique to be successful, and so you get people going all to these crazy extremes, and that's why there's like the world is very extreme in many ways.
The world is a very extreme place, a very, very extreme place, and
And yet it's pretty much the least extreme that it's ever been.
yeah,
Historically
in
speaking,
history,
that we know of.
Yeah, as
And
far
it's
as
like
like
the safest
mass
time to
violence,
ever
yeah.
be alive.
right?
Yeah.
It's
like
like the most security in our day-to-day lives.
you
ever.
aren't worrying about people coming and raping and plundering and pillaging your village.
Worry about it, but just not as much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I mean,
We've got
like,
homes with locks on them, and we feel like that's good enough for the most part.
Well, we
you
have
know?
time
Like,
to record a podcast.
Yeah,
yeah,
Because we're not out there
having to
fending
hunt
for the
and-
food that we need to
Yeah.
survive for the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
3 days.
yeah, for sure, and like not even catching most of it. You
Mhm.
get like just enough for the night, and then you might not find anything for the next 3 days.
right.
And you just got some like shitty little squirrel that you found in a tree, and it took half your energy to get that little bastard.
It's crazy that we have so much more just time to do whatever we want than humans have ever had.
And that's
It's
why you get things like
insane.
the fucking Empire State Building and like the most extreme forms of art and like world records that have never been even thought were feasible to begin with, and shit, because people have the time to dedicate to these things that are so, from a biased perspective, you could say they're frivolous,
Absolutely.
but in reality, what they are is, I think, they're a representation of humanity's success. Like these are a tribute to what we can accomplish as a society because of the security that we are able to establish for the masses of society.
Yeah, the only I guess pushback I would have on that is the fact that like Göbekli Tepe I was watching a documentary on it, and they're like the fucking bottom sediment, like the first settler that was at Göbekli Tepe, they had this astronomically crazy build in a time when we didn't know that they could build shit like this. Like we thought it was impossible. And then it slowly gets worse as the settlement layers and like the layers of years go up, and then the buildings change and they get worse and just worse, and the building materials is like people got dumber.
Yeah.
And then we started getting smarter. But it is crazy. Someone was talking about how like the gladiator arena, right? It was around for like 800 years.
Mhm.
Only time in history that we had like an arena of war that people went to for sport
Mhm.
and like killings every day, and it happened for 800 years. That's 4 times as long as America.
And on top of that, it produced the most wealthy man in human history.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but there was this guy who was he owned the Colosseum or whatever it was, and he had like a third of the entire Earth's wealth in value.
Yeah, because it was the most profitable thing it for hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
America's only been here for almost 300 years. And it was around for 8. We still have a lot of catching up to do. And we're already looking like Rome did at its end times. And Rome was around for 1,000
Yeah, we're already
years.
divided. And
Yeah, like...
Well, I think a lot of people lose sight of the fact that America is a very young country in the grand scheme of things, you know.
Like, they think, and like, even growing up, I thought America had been here forever. Like,
and that's a testament to how everything is evolving quicker nowadays.
Yeah.
Everything happens so much faster. Even evolution itself happens faster.
And that's the thing that I'm saying is, like, if you look at the civilization changes, like, after the Colosseum years, when we were doing that, no time after that had civilizations really lasted more than 100 to 500 years, other than China.
Yeah, China.
Right now, China's been around for thousands of years. Yeah. And their shit has changed a little bit, but it's mostly been under the same type of rule for a majority of its time. And that's the only way I think you can keep that kind of ruling class.
Well, that's why, like, the Amish never change, is because they're afraid that that change brings, like, not only damnation, but, like, struggle and strife and difficulty and hardship, you know, and it's exposure to new threats at all times, and so they just stay their old school ways. And, like, you know, when you're a kid, you think about it and you're like, oh, these fucking weirdos, but it's like, you know, you see some of the shit that happens in the world nowadays, and you're like,
that sounds kind of good.
Got something going on, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not about to go do that, but I respect that decision.
Yeah, I almost find it harder just because you have the temptation, because what they send their kids out at like
18 or whatever, 16 or something.
Like, you get a year, some odd amount of months to fucking go wild, do all the shit.
Make sure that you
wanna
believe
do.
what you believe. Don't
They want,
be here against
like,
your will. Like, you don't ever have to come back.
We want you to go out, do drugs, fuck everybody you can possibly fuck. We want you to do everything that you think that you're not getting here, and see how it's not worth it. And then they do most of the time. They go out for like a year, bash out all the shit, and they've have all this money saved up for these specific little out journeys. They go out, they fuck, they get a nice apartment in New York, they fucking penthouse it up, blow a bunch of cocaine off of titties and asses.
The life
everywhere.
of the average Amish man.
Only for a year. They only get 1 year of this, and then they're like, you know what? I don't like any of this. I'm gonna go back to shoveling shit. So obviously, there's something to it that is attractive to the human soul.
I think living off the land is the most fulfilling thing you can do as a person.
Like, you think about when you go camping. When, in any other time, do you, like, feel accomplished just through making it through the day of, like, building a fire and just doing the basic living shit? Like, you just feel fucking perfect in those moments. It's cold as shit sometimes, but it's worth every minute that you're out there.
That fire going after going and finding wood and
that
breaking it
is
down.
why I
better
like
feeling.
rolling blunts, because you know what you have to look forward to. You put in this work; it's a difficult thing to do, and you make it so perfect, and you spend time on it, and you're patient, and you make it right. And then when you're done, you've got this amazing thing, and you're like,
light it on fire.
Yep, kill it.
That's also a human thing. We like to light things that we love on fire.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's how we started, like, campfires. It's just by straight up lighting all kinds of things on fire. I was just going to load up a bully, too.
I was wrong anyways.
Well,
fucking...
honestly, I think it's time. I got to probably
Yeah,
get going.
we're going at almost 2 hours here.
My little baby is calling for Papa.
All right, people. We appreciate you for tuning in, and tune in again.
Tune in,
right.
motherfuckers.
And have a good night. Stay classy, Seattle, and the rest of the world too. And fuck you, Jay Ansley. And stay watching for the YouTube podcast.
Happy Rumspringa.
Yeah. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the
Hell
Amish
yeah.
go for a year off.
That's fucking
Fuck
priceless.
yeah.
You just look that up.
I did.
That's so
I knew it in
awesome.
the back of my head, but
I couldn't
wanted
think
to
of
say
either.
bar mitzvah.
That's what I kept wanting to say was a bar
That's
mitzvah or
the
something.
Jewish coming of age.
Yeah, that's when they cut your penis head off.
I don't know about all that.
Isn't that what they do?
No.
Don't they?
No,
I think
they
it's just when you
schmitzvah?
turn 16.
Yeah, when you turn 16, you have your bar mitzvah. It's like representation of going into manhood.
Or if
you're
you're
talking
Don't
about
they-
circumcision. It's,
Yeah, don't they do that at the bar mitzvah
No,
for the
that's-
Jewish community?
No, that's when you're a child. They have a rabbi come and bite your foreskin off.
Oh,
Yeah, when you're an infant.
That's so much worse than what I was
It's
saying.
so much worse. It's way worse and true.
Oh
Yeah,
my-
in
All right.
traditional, you know,
Hasidic?
yeah, whatever. I don't even know. I'm not gonna pretend I'm an expert.
All right, my Hasidic Jew friends. I'm sorry you had your penis heads bitten off, and good night.
Yeah, that's not my fucking steez.
It's my Steve. All right, we love you guys. Go and check out Guityler on Instagram and get him to like 10,000 followers by next month.
Regardless of your amount or presence or lack thereof of foreskin.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
All foreskins are allowed.
And
At
lack
all.
thereof.
Yeah, and all labia is allowed too. So we're not letting anybody out, even if you're a transy. You haven't one.
I'm
Of the two.
leaving.
You haven't one of the two. All right, bye bye.